Hi, Omkar. Thank you so much for coming to BizTalk. How are you today?
Good. Thank you very much, Max. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure is mine, and thank you for coming. So, before talking about your startup, would you like to give me an intro yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And I'm Omkar. I'm the founder, CEO of Miracle.io. We are headquartered in Berlin, Germany, and we are we are unlocking learning by doing in the metaverse. So that's what we do. My background has been in technology for the last 10 years, especially on the deepest ends of it. So on the mobile and AI side of it since 2012 and 13. And I've worked across different verticals, right from fintech, health tech, ed tech now, of course, fashion tech, food tech, and quite a few other sectors. And that's like a brief overview about where I come from, what I do, and what I'm doing at the moment.
So, let's start talking about your badge.
Sure. Yeah,
Yep.
so that's us. That's Miracle.io. That's our name. It's magical, and you'll see why it's magical in a moment. We want to say goodbye to memorization, and we want to say hello to memorable in education. And one of the challenges that education faces today is that learners cannot learn by doing, which means that today's methods rely on teachers and videos and textbooks, which are very dry and boring for students. And therefore, engagement levels are at an all-time low. And this is a big challenge because if students, especially in the younger age groups, early teenagers, if they're not engaged in their learning journeys, then it becomes very difficult for them to do anything going forward. And we see this a lot in a lot of research out there, especially theory lectures and textbooks have low learner engagement and retention. And learning in the real world and learning by doing has high levels of engagement and retention. And there's a huge gap today that exists that we have set off to solve. And the risks are very real because this is faced by 1 billion plus learners throughout the world today. How do we solve it? We solve it with Miracle.io. And what we do is we transform classrooms into interactive exhibitions. This way, students are better engaged and educators can basically involve their students in the learning journey. And you see, this is a picture from one of our classrooms. This is Vidyanidhi High School. This is this school that I studied in back in Mumbai in India. And students had a lot of trouble understanding the structure of the atom and how atoms are structured. And with Miracle, they were able to build an atom themselves of sodium, oxygen, carbon, and all of these things. And the class was able to sort of support the student who was doing it by helping her out, by telling them, hey, the electron goes here, not here. And, you need to add a shell before adding a new electron and so on. So this way, like transforming classrooms into interactive exhibitions solves one of the biggest challenges that we discussed about before. And the second use case that we worked with is transforming homes into science labs. So this way, learners and students can improve their confidence with complex procedures in labs and equipment, no matter where they are. So they don't need to rely on infrastructure and labs and equipment and materials to practice science concepts. And this way, instead of being scared of science, they are better able to increase their confidence and nurture their curiosity about science. And the best part about all of this is that this works through everyday mobile devices. No special hardware, no headsets, just the mobile devices that you and I have in our pockets, and millions of households also in the world today. And that's what we do. And this is how we say goodbye to memorization and hello to memorable. Now, how do we do this? We do this at the intersection of technology, creativity, and pedagogy, education. And our core business is K-12, which is basically the early education age group. And our primary market is in India, and our approach is a B2B2C approach that we are taking. So the consumers here are 13 to 15-year-old students who are in the 9th or 10th grade. These are people who are camera natives and are gamers, and they are our future builders. The producers are the creators, and these are people typically in the 18 to 25-year-old age group. These are digital artists, and they often are freelancers looking for gigs and seeking a purpose to solve for. And our distributors are schools, educators, and parents. And these are typically in the age groups of 25 to 40-year-old groups. These are typically subject matter experts as well, so therefore they help us shape the content. And they're influencers because they have access to a huge amount of our consumers as well. And these are people who think and who see and believe that education needs this transformation and help us take our content and technology to the students. So our primary use case is to use it as a demonstration tool in the classroom, and this way expose our consumers to this idea and thought and approach. And then consumers also have a freemium model to go towards. So that's how we go B2B2C over here. And our traction has been, we have started off in the last year, and we have about 3,000 learners that we have onboarded and we have worked with. We also have a small steering committee of 13 to 15-year-old students who help us build this technology with them for them. We have access to about 2.5 million learners through some government connections that we have forged over the last year, and access to about 50K educators and a few schools along the way as well. Some universities have also shown interest in our offering, and therefore we also are working on a way on how we can onboard them. And on the producer side, we have access to animation schools and a few creators as well who we work with along the way. So that's our traction so far. And this is our team, and it's a team that has accumulated experience across immersive technology, education, learning science, and gamification. And I'm the founder CEO of the company, and I come from a technology background. I also have been an academic researcher myself on the side, and I have had also an app on the Play Store that has crossed 5 million downloads. And we have Dr. Koslin, Dr. Killian, Dr. Safi from the academics and business side of things. And we have Smita as well, who has spent 30 plus years in pharmaceuticals as well. And most importantly, we have our team of 15 people across the world. We have a few clients as well along the way that we've gathered. We are principal member of the Metaverse Standards Forum. And we've found some very good feedback from the market, both from students and educators. Students have reported that they have better understanding of topics after using Miracle, and educators really see this difference in their students after using Miracle as well. And we're raising 1 million in our first fundraise. We are bootstrapped at the moment, and we want to use this to expand our team, especially the business side of things, fine-tune our production engine, and focus on customer acquisition, monetization, and creating an entire new category of how we transmit knowledge as a civilization. And that's it. That's us. And today the Miracle app is available on the Play Store or App Store. So feel free to try it out yourself and see what kind of a difference it makes in your understanding of science. And yeah, that's about us from our side.
Thank you so much, Omkar. I'm a huge fan of education. I do believe I completely agree that education based on just absorbing from books, even from teachers, without any effort to make your mind. Doesn't make any sense. I always say to me, what's the point to learn just memorizing stuff and not creating stuff? So I totally agree with what you're doing. I'm very happy because education is almost everything in life.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, in this journey to have a digital education that move from absorbing maybe to creating, when you see the most challenging, the biggest challenge, where is coming?
It's a very good question. I think one of the biggest challenges that we are seeing is that there's a huge generation gap between the transmitters of knowledge and the receivers of knowledge. And today, the whole knowledge economy has changed a lot. 20, 25 years ago, teachers and schools were the source of knowledge. Today, this knowledge is freely available on the internet for everyone to access. I think the role of teachers today has to change more from being, knowledge providers as they were before to more knowledge curators, like being able to help their students and guide their students towards finding the right knowledge areas. So I think this shift is where the biggest challenge lies. Like, how do we go from this, let's say, method of the past to the method of the present and the method of the future? The role of the teacher needs to change from being a teacher to being more of a facilitator and a mentor. And we see that any kind of a shift takes, quite a lot of time, and especially education can be a fairly slow-moving sector. But at the same time, we're seeing quite a lot of schools who are interested in adopting these kind of methods because they see the challenges exacerbate, especially in the classroom today.
So using your platform, let's call platform or your application, which are the main tools that, if I'm a teacher, makes me capable? Not everyone is capable to do this. So how can you enhance my capacity, facilitate how I can make my students be capable, not absorbing, but actually be creators of ideas?
Mm-hmm.
So
And it's a very good question. It's a question that we get a lot. Like, how do we start using this in the classroom, basically, is what the question that comes up very often. And in terms of onboarding or getting started, it's very easy. Like I said, we focus on access. We want to make sure that this modern technology doesn't come in the way of the users, because any technology that is invisible is actually the best kind of technology. So therefore, we're focused on mobile devices, which teachers as well as students are fairly comfortable with, and they've used, students especially have used the mobile device, and they see the world through the lens of their mobile device. Teachers, people in, let's say, around their 40s, have also been comfortable with using the mobile device as a pointing device, as a camera, basically. So that's what we sort of help them understand, that now if you can use your mobile device to basically project something in the world that does not exist, how can you use and interact with this created, augmented world, basically? And once you understand the concept of it, then you are able to leverage it as a part of the classroom, and not only use it, like I said, as a passive learning mechanism for students, but also have the students participate in the learning experience, in creating the learning experience this way. And since we don't use virtual reality, we use mixed reality. So, which means that the environment is something that you get to choose as a user. So as a user, you take part in the creation process, which is very rare.
Oh, that's incredible. Based on your first data, how effective is this method?
From what we've seen, it's extremely effective on two fronts. So first front is, of course, the engagement. So what we've seen is that, I don't know if you were able to see it in the picture that I shared before, but students are drawn towards the center of the classroom better than ever before. So you can really see it visually. And then based on our feedback research that we've also done in the classrooms, students in front of their own science teacher, before using Miracle, said that our understanding of the structure of atoms right now is 5 out of 10 in front of their science teacher. And after using Miracle, almost all of them said that now we understand it on a 9 on 10 and even a 10 on 10. And like follow-up quizzes, they also performed very well. So we have quite a lot of data that points towards the fact that this is a very effective way of not only transmitting knowledge, but also engaging students as a part of the process, so that knowledge can be transmitted most effectively. So this is on the student side. And on the teacher's side, we are seeing that more and more teachers want to use it as a demonstration tool in the classroom, because of the effects that it has on the students. So it's there's this strong push and pull dynamic between effects on the students and effects on the teachers.
In terms of application, you can apply of any knowledge?
Yes, so we can apply it on any knowledge. Of course, the creation is the most expensive part of the building process for us. And that's something that we are trying to solve with our technology. We don't want to infrastructurize it too soon, because that's a no-brainer. That's the easy way out. But it sort of it prevents us from going deep into the topics, which is what is crucial in education, especially. So what we're focused on right now is we're focused on fundamental sciences. So science for 9th and 10th graders, which is foundational. So human body systems, atoms, molecules, physics, and so on, that they can, build a good foundation for and then go on top of that. Eventually, we want to expand, of course, our repertoire of offerings to maybe more subjects, but our focus has always been on science, and it will continue for some time to stay on science.
I mean, in terms of market, where are you more focused? Because you are based in Germany, but your market, from my understanding, is India.
Exactly.
Why do you focus in India and not in Europe?
What we saw was that this metaverse is not for you and me, right? This metaverse is being built for the builders of the future. So the people who are 13 to 18 right now, this is who this is for. From a pure business angle, it made sense for us to target a market that had a large audience of young people. So Europe has many, many things, and it has a burgeoning market for many things, but this is not what Europe has today. So therefore, we focused on India. India also happens to be my home country. And as they say, right, when you make a transformation, you make it at the roots. And for me, my roots are in India. So today in Europe, I have a lot of, networks and a lot of clients and advisors. And it made a lot of strategic sense for us to base our operations or headquarters over here. But since we are a remote first company, we have our team across the world. So we, as they say, in a globalized society, you should choose countries which you can, which can provide the best possible solution for the piece of the larger picture. So for us, India is a great market to sort of build for, and also maybe build in as well. While Europe is a great market to also sort of build that credibility and then bring things to a place when they're more ready, more refined, and even compliant with everything that technology has to be compliant with in Europe. So it's a longer sort of route that we're taking, but so far it has made sense for us, even though from the outside it might seem like a bit of a strange situation.
I do believe India or Southeast Asia is probably the place where to be already today, but in a very short time. More.
Absolutely.
There is no comparison. All the kids come every day, newborns, and compared to Europe or any other emerging market. We know this one is nothing to discover. And what about the IP? Is belonging all to you, the IP, or do you source something from outside?
So there are some pieces of technology that we use, of course, because we are mobile first, of course. So the mobile operating systems and all of these things are, of course, owned by the respective owners. We have built a lot of our things ourselves. Like I said, I've been an academic researcher on the side, moonlighting as one for the last 10 years. So a lot of the computer vision pieces, a lot of the methodology and the philosophy of how we build this belongs to us. But we're using certain tools, like, for example, we're using Google and Apple augmented reality kits for some of the SDK, the software development kits for some of the things. But the learning science that we infuse in this technology is something that we have come up with. And we have our learning analytics repertoire of tools and suites that we have built before in our previous life. And we also have some of our own academic research on this topic as well that we have published in science journals and so on. And I like to think that we have multiple pieces of IP. So one is the core technology in itself, the second is the content, and the third is also a few other approaches of this combination of the technology and content. So yeah, almost all of it, I would say, belongs to us, with some aspects that we borrow, let's say, from other openly available tools and kits.
You just started startups. They're born to grow, scale, and becoming one day a serious and established company. Where do you see yourself? What exactly you want to do 5 years' time?
It's a very good question. And 5 years is a very long time in today's world. I want to see us being the de facto tool for learning and doing science in any corner of the world. So that's where we see ourselves. And at the same time, we want to see 13 to 18-year-old students not only consuming what we have built, but also building with us.
And my last question is, why investing in yourself, your team, and Miracle?
Because why not? Because we have something that is groundbreaking. We have built something that is attractive to age groups that are young and age groups that are older as well. So we have built something that is timeless in a way. And again, like how we transmit knowledge is changing for the rest of how we would live our lives. So now is the best time to invest in how we transmit knowledge. Given the fact that we have bootstrapped ourselves for quite some time and have also built quite a lot of things and have reached quite a lot of distribution networks, I think it's a good time and it's a good proof enough to understand that this can be a very positive investment as well.
Omkar, thank you so much for coming to BizTalk. It's been a very pleasure for me, and I do hope we can help in equity match to raise your funds, and I do wish you all the best for your great
Thank
success.
you. Thank you very much, Max, and it's been a pleasure to be here.
My pleasure.